Co-op. Welcome to the Couch Co-op Podcast. Today, we're diving into this day in gaming history to uncover some nostalgic gems. Join Dr.Demo as he develops large necrotic lesions and cerebral white matter playing demo games in Buy, Try, Die. Next up, we'll explore some exciting upcoming titles with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Helldivers 2, and a drive-by preview of Pacific Drive. Then we'll gather our co-optional buddies for some ultimate co-optional picks and couch co-optionals. Lastly, put your gaming knowledge to the test with a round of trivia and see if you can emerge victorious. Thanks for joining us on this gaming journey. Let's dive into the past, embrace the present, anticipate the future of gaming together. The Couch Co-op Podcast starts now.
For the win.
Couch Co-op is full of douchebags.
Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Co-dependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, and Nick was going to be here tonight, but he's still stuck at Costco. I'm Ian. I got Jared, Dave, and John here on the couch
so
tonight.
low.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Good. Not
Yeah.
at Costco.
Been a pretty chill day.
Indeed, it has been a chill day. Kind of wet. Quiet.
Yep.
You guys get up anything fun this weekend, aside from any video game stuff?
Oh, I went to the
Girl
original Pancake
Scout
House
booze. Yeah. Oh,
Original
wow.
Pancake House, baby.
on Barber Boulevard. It was nice. It blew my expectations away, so...
That place is nice. I've been there a few times. Not for a long time, but
Isn't that across
it's
from where
better.
Aaron used to live?
yeah, I think it
I
is.
think so, yeah.
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 Cool. Yum.
Pancakes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet dreams. All right. Well, let's get to it. Jared, what happened in this day in gaming history?
So on the 1st of March, it's the first time I ever played the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo and the launch of Zone of the Enders in 2001, 23 years ago.
Oh, man. So long ago.
23 years ago. And on the 2nd, it's part of a series that you're a big fan of. Actually, we're all a big fan of. Drakengard came out 20 years ago in 2004. That's the first
Taro.
of the series that Yoko Taro was doing, and that's attached to Nier as the series. So
Exciting.
someday I would like to play a Drakengard game. There's, what, three of them, I think?
I have the third one for PS3. That's the,
And
that's the one I have.
today, the 3rd, the Nintendo Switch launched in 2017,
Ah.
7 years ago.
And the worst console
Holy
was
cow.
born.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised mine's
the
still
Wii U?
working just fine. Like,
Nope.
it's like a glorified cell phone chip, and cell phones slow down over time, and Switch is just as slow as it ever was. And what else? Do you know what else came out on the 3rd, Ian?
Is it a game or is
March?
it a console?
Metal
game.
Gear Solid of some description.
A game?
Helldivers on the PS3 came out in 2015,
Oh, wow.
9 years ago,
Jesus.
on March 3rd.
Holy
My
shit.
goodness.
That's crazy.
It seems like a hell of a lot longer. I mean, I swear we played that forever ago.
I
I mean, 9
yeah.
years doesn't seem like a crazy amount of time.
I think I had the PlayStation 4 version that we played.
Yeah, well, we got it on PS3.
Yeah, we all got it for free.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
no,
on PS4
it's on,
as well.
No, I have it on PS4.
Yeah,
I think-
it's on PS4 and PS5. You can play it, of course.
I think they gave it to us for free on PS4.
Yeah, I bought a disc copy of it, and I think they gave it for free a while later.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah,
Jesus.
Helldivers.
Democracy.
Sweet.
What a glorious day for democracy.
Yes, sirree.
Cool. Well, thank you for that, Jared. Yeah, so we are going to talk about some brand new games that have come out. You know, no more of this lists of old games that we've talked about a million times.
Oh yeah, we'll get back to that. Don't
We'll get
worry.
back. Don't worry. Next week,
Yeah.
I got a great one. Anyway, we're going to talk about some new games a little bit. And we'll start off with Jared because he's rocking the newest game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like, my whole PlayStation 5 list is just littered with people playing this game. Jared, how is it? Talk.
Well, so far, yes, I'm really enjoying it. I think it was kind of a good thing that I got the last one for free because I was interested, but I don't know. I had my thoughts of Final Fantasy VII. I loved it a lot when it first came out, and then I played the first remake and Integrate, and I had a ton of fun. And I was really excited to see where the story was going. So I bought Rebirth over the weekend. I didn't expect to buy it at full price, but the reviews and all that stuff pushed me over the edge. It's probably one of the highest rated Final Fantasy games at this point.
Wow.
And
Was it like a 93 or a 94? Something like that?
yeah,
Like on
last I
Metacritic?
checked, yeah, it was like 93, something like that. But yeah, it's way up there. It sounds like there's tons and tons of content. So far, I feel like I haven't gotten anywhere. I've kind of bursted through the story up to where I can explore the open world.
Just 10
And
hours of
it's-
staring at
Yeah, I'm
Tifa's
10 or
giant
11 hours
boobs.
in.
Because her boobs
Yeah,
are bigger
yeah.
in this one, supposedly.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's all that
they are
matters,
definitely
isn't it, Ian?
noticeable.
Who measures this shit?
The internet, John.
The
The
internet,
internet.
yeah, that was probably a question you already knew the answer to. Lots of fans, but yeah, the graphics are great. I'm just running it on whatever mode it started with, like just graphics mode. Supposedly the performance mode is kind of derpy, so I haven't tried that. But I'm enjoying the battle system, though I feel like I'm doing it wrong. I don't understand certain aspects of it. The synergy between characters, I have troubles performing that kind of stuff. Blocking and parrying, that kind of stuff, I find a little slow. Maybe I'm just doing that wrong. I'm having troubles fighting some of the bosses. I'm not, because they don't say like there's a level cap or anything like that, but I'm kind of stuck right now, just doing some side quests here and there.
Yeah, you feel like
hopefully
you've got to
level
go
up and
away and level up.
yeah,
and
yeah, like an
easier
old school
stuff and then come
RPG.
back,
You know,
yeah.
you have to grind a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of doing that. There's some side quests, some different stuff to find, and I'm having fun doing all that. I mean, it definitely hit a wall when I got to the giant snake in the swamp. I was getting my ass kicked in like 2 hits. So, again, it doesn't have anything about like a level cap. A lot of the missions that you do, it'll say what level you need to be, but most of them are like at what level I'm at. It like matches the level, or it's a level below what I'm trying to do. So the battle system is complex enough for people to have a lot of fun with it, but also pretty challenging. I have it on the normal difficulty, so it's a little harder than the Final Fantasy VII Remake because I played through that on the easiest mode. So I expected it to be a little bit more difficult than that.
Is it the same battle system from the first, the
They
previous?
carried a lot of that over, yeah. Or you know, you're talking Final Fantasy VII Remake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very action oriented. You can kind of hit X, you know, to select your spells and stuff, and it'll pause essentially. But it's really slow motion, so it's not completely stopped. And you can also select your other characters and have them do specific moves, or you can switch to the character and use them. So that's pretty cool, being able to use all the characters. You could do that in the other one as well. So they just made it this new like synergy thing. I don't recall it being in the first one, but this time I'm having troubles, as I said, kind of figuring it out. Like I've read a guide, like yeah, just hold R1 or whatever, hold guard, block, and select the attacks. But I'm like, I don't see them. Maybe I'm just messing it up. I need to browse through like the menus and see if I'm just missing something. Because in the settings, that's where the manual is. games don't come with manuals anymore or anything like that. You just have to look it up online, or luckily this has like a easy guide inside of it. So I've referred to that a couple times just on the different systems that are in the game.
How much better looking is it than the previous one?
It's been a while since I did that one, but what I remember a lot of the prior one was tons of like really slow load-ins on textures and stuff like that. A lot of blurry textures until eventually it finally loaded, even though I was playing the PS5 upgraded edition. But this is super quick. All the environments are gorgeous. The special effects are really well done. A lot of particle effects, like the Final Fantasy is about the life stream of the planet and all that. And throughout the open world, you see like little wisps of that, and it's really cool looking. And sometimes you'll go to different things like a materia spring where the life stream is going up and solidifying, and it looks really cool because there's like a little pond or a lake behind it where it's really beautiful water with cool wisps of the life flow coming from there too. So it's a really, really well detailed game. Like even just like walking around, I was doing the intro, which is in the demo that you can play a Final Fantasy Rebirth if you didn't play that yet. And just like the textures of the costumes and all that stuff are way, way detailed. Like the leather on Sephiroth's outfit is way, way detailed. If you accidentally like walking around, you stop and he's just right there and you're looking, wow, his costume is just absolutely
Are you staring
detailed.
at his crotch? Yeah.
Well, yeah, his crotch is very deep. No, Dave, come on.
Can we talk spoilers about the Final Fantasy VII storyline real quick? I had a question regarding the storyline.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, whatever.
So in my understand now, I played a little bit of the Final Fantasy VII remake. I didn't play it all the way through, but I just listening to other people talk about it. They feel like the game does a kind of a better job of towing the line between your group being freedom fighters that's trying to break the industrial giant or crossing the line into outright terrorism. So do you feel like they're kind of continuing that with so far in the second game where you're not like some ways you can see they are trying to free the world and other ways you could see it as being terrorists? Or do you feel like that kind of narrative is out of line or not exactly true?
Well, so far they haven't really gone into that because at this point you're just kind of trying to escape Midgar, as I always hated the name of that city by the Midgar because you're supposed to R that part. I think Midgar sounds better. Just doing a
Pirate
Midgar.
City.
But yeah, it's Midgar. I hate the name of that. But you're essentially just trying to get away and find a hiding place at this point. It's crazy because like the demo that you play is just like a little snippet into the past of Sephiroth and Cloud. And that in the original game was maybe like a 10-15 minute like story segment, just a quick flashback. And it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours of game here. So it's really drawn out. So as I said, we're just essentially finally finding somewhere to go on our way to Junon. And I still haven't made it there. It's like you get there super quick in the original Final Fantasy VII.
Is this game more open world than the previous one?
Very much so, yeah. The previous one didn't really have anything open world. It was really linear.
Right.
A lot of straight paths. They kind of looked a little open, but if you look up at the mini map, it's all just straight lines and corridors.
I played a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely open.
I played a little bit of the
up.
remake, and I would say they are straight up eco-terrorists.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they want to stop all of the Mako or all the Mako generation damaging the planet because the planet's slowly dying. It's very current. I mean, in the real life, we're always talking about that kind of stuff, and
because
it's in parallel.
Even in the remake,
the world's dying.
Even in the remake,
it might be too late.
Some of those characters are conflicted with what they're doing.
Yes.
Throughout that game. Like, I think maybe we're taking this too far because you know it is terrorism. You know.
Yeah, Barrett's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
And there's pushback against some of the stuff he says and does and things like that. So the characters aren't just like a single line of dialogue. They're pretty in depth with their thoughts. And in this you can kind of select certain things you do and say and who you interact with and how you interact with them. It actually has like a system where your characters can like you more. You know, like a lot of games, you just do missions for them and they like you a little more. And sometimes you might say something that they're just like, I don't think so, or yeah, no, it's interesting how they do that kind of stuff. So I'm interested to see as it goes farther. I mean, because that story at the beginning in Midgar is really the biggest terrorism point that I could see, but I don't recall, like, throughout Final Fantasy VII's history, like I don't remember anything past Midgar being like going and destroying all this other stuff. It's mostly Shinra causing all the other problems versus Avalanche. Avalanche is still an existing party, but it's kind of on the low, and there's other rebel parties that are on the same boat as them. So it'll be interesting to see how that all meshes together.
Is there any kind of recap of the previous game in this game, or does it just take off? It just goes?
Yeah, you can actually in the menu. There's an option to recall the story before.
Okay, so you don't have to have played the first part if you just want to get into.
No, you can jump straight in, and I mean, and they talk about things that happen here and there. You bump into a lot of characters that were from Midgar, and you're bumping into them out in the field, and they're still either annoying Cloud and the crew because of how they act and who they are, and you're interacting with them in a different way and trying to get them to maybe change their ways a little bit because they're just kind of dipshits.
But nothing from
it's fun.
Nothing from your remake playthrough carries over, right? It's just
you can use your save file and it will reward you for playing the game. So there's rewards of materia and stuff like that. Even if you play through the demo, there's a reward for that, different materia.
But nothing really carries over? Like, aside from rewards, is there like no, like, I don't know.
There's callbacks, but I don't know if they're specific to, because the story's so linear. The story is so linear in Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's hard to tell if they're referring to what you did in the game or if it's just part of the story arc. You know, because there's characters that do specifically mention, "Oh, you remember me from this," and you say yes or no.
Gotcha. It's
that kind of stuff.
Maybe, but maybe
or
not.
Or a character that will just immediately say, "Oh, I remember when you did this." You know, but yeah, so linear in the first one.
Gotcha.
Does the open world narratively make sense? Like, do you feel like they did a great transition going from linear to open world, or is it kind of jarring? Or
I get what you're saying. Seamless? It works because like you're escaping Midgar into another city to hide out, and so that city is way different than Midgar, of course, because Midgar is like super big factory with the plates on the top where people live underneath, and it crashes down. It's all on fire and all that shit. And you're in like this really well-off city that's borrowing Mako from Shinra, and they have like their one big generator. The city is massive, huge. It's very modern for the Final Fantasy era. I mean, it's really, really well done. What an intricate city.
What he's asking, Jared, is
gameplay-wise?
No, yeah, like
gameplay-wise.
No, but like, do you like get out?
There.
Do you get out into the open world and then like you go straight into the next quest? Are you just at the Chocobo hut petting chocobos for like the last 4 hours?
I'm getting there.
Just
and as
chocobos.
you leave the city for reasons, you walk out and break out of this door because you have to take a specific path. And it opens like super wide, and they're all like, "Whoa!" Because none of them have really seen outside of Midgar, so they see this lush, green, beautiful environment, and
straight to the
they're
Chocobo
all
farm.
shocked and stunned by it.
I was going to say, and you know, Jared's in the Chocobo farm.
Well, I mean, one of the people tells you, "Oh, go visit this dude," and it kind of guides you somewhere. There's actually multiple people that will kind of guide you to a specific location. So, like, if depending on
Jared's
what
looking
path
for
you
the
go
fishing
on,
holes.
not yet. I saw some people fishing, but I haven't gotten to. But yeah. There's a
too
sign
busy
where you go. It's
walking.
like Chocobo Farm this way, and it's like, oh well, I guess we can cross the swamp this way. So it guides you there. It's part of the story. Whereas like Final Fantasy 16, you could absolutely miss getting the Chocobo if you didn't do a very specific side quest.
Well, 16's too cool for chocobos, Like, they don't really... Come on, we're going to put those over and hide them. They got to be in
Yeah,
here.
they were
legally,
very hidden.
Legally, chocobos have to be in this game, but
Yeah.
we don't want them in this game.
Well, that was the Moogles. They just kind of last minute threw the Moogles in Final Fantasy 16. So that was funny.
'Cause
I've bumped into Moogles and Chocobos, and I haven't bumped into Sid yet.
16's a very metal game, It's a very...
Oh, yeah. Fucking
Chocobos
love
and
that
Moogles.
soundtrack, man.
Chocobos and Moogles are not very metal, You gotta...
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, man.
But yeah. So far,
my
go
My other question was, I've heard that it has more mini games than any other Final Fantasy. Like, there's so many mini games. How many mini games have you come across so far?
Yeah, several, because different activities in the world, like the Chocobo can smell things, so you have to sniff the air, and it'll guide you, and you sniff the air, and then you dig. That's kind of a mini game, and there's
like
another
pain in the
one where you have
ass.
to time button pushes around a ring to scan something in a very specific way. Another one where the circle shrinks and you have to hit the button at the exact time. I mean, these are just like back-to-back things, and they're activities they have to repeat a certain amount of time. So,
But no
that's
dancing
just
mini
early
games yet?
game.
No dancing.
Any what?
No dancing yet, or...
I mean, there is a concert you bump into in the city where Cloud just stops and starts like kind of clapping to it, and then you keep walking. But
I'm curious.
Nothing yet. I haven't made it very far. I mean, as I've already
And 10
stated,
hours?
I mean, there's the whole casino thing is in this game. So
wow.
like when I get there, like I'll probably be lost in there for a long time. I've played a little bit of the new card game. There's like a side quest that is required for me to do for Tifa if I want to
What
make
kind
her
of card
happy.
game is it? Like a
They made
poker
up their
kinda
own
game
thing.
or
Like
trading
Gwent?
card kind of game?
It's like
Oh, okay.
you place the cards on 3 different lanes, and whoever has the highest number when you are done on each side, that person wins. And the cards do different things. So just like any card game, but it's their own version of a card game they made. But I'm not going to describe the details of that because I'm not a fan of card games in video games, and I'm only
Really?
doing it because I want to do it for Tifa.
Oh wow.
I'd do anything for Tifa.
Yeah, I never play like Gwent. I never played the Final Fantasy X card game. I never played. Yeah, I don't like playing card games in my video games. I didn't even like playing poker in Red Dead. I did because I had to in Red Dead 2.
Yeah, that shit sucks. I get
yeah.
you.
I did
So
like.
I just don't like
in,
playing cards.
in The Witcher. I did like the fact that you would collect Gwent cards, though. I like the idea
Yeah,
that you would create your deck and you could find cards out in the world. But
yeah, you do that in this.
Oh, okay.
And you
See?
battle people for
Yeah,
certain
alright.
cards,
There
and
you
you
go.
can buy certain cards from the store and things
yeah,
like that.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so it's like a whole game in its own. But I don't know. It's fine. I don't know. Maybe I'll like it in the end. But at this point, I'm
It's not.
still in my old mind where I'm just not a huge fan of card games.
Just give me the
But you
fishing
don't have
already.
to play it.
Just want the fishing. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and you're
Yeah,
like
but,
10 hours.
so far very positive.
in
Yeah.
10 hours ish, or for sure.
Yeah. It's 11 hours. And
Oh,
some
11
odd.
hours. Oh, geez, he's
But
cranking out.
playing this late at night, I probably fell asleep at least once.
Do we know how long it is to beat? Like what the?
I don't know. Yeah, people have said like if you mainline the story, it's like 35. If you do all the content, it's like 70
Holy
plus.
shit.
Yeah, it's a big game.
Yeah, but it'll take me a lot longer than that because I feel like I'm not doing very good in a lot of the battles. I swear, like I just need to learn better defensive tactics and
Hey,
learn how to use the characters better.
just be done before
just
June,
practice
and I'll be
some.
fine.
By June, huh?
Yeah, it'll be done by June, Jared.
Why is that?
Elden Ring, baby.
Oh yeah. DLC, man. Yeah, that's gonna be freaking hard. It sounds like all of From Software's DLC is hard as shit. It's like the hardest part of their game is their DLC.
Anyway,
Just bring the VR and the Girl Scout runs, and then you can just put it on and keep on playing and be.
Well, so I was playing Final Fantasy VII earlier today, but the girls were using all the screens and stuff, so I just used my PS5 controller. I synced it via Bluetooth on my tablet and just played on my tablet, and it worked fine. I think CenturyLink gave me more speed again. Like I used to only get, I paid for like 100 down and 10 up. Now I'm getting like 130 up or for down and 30 up. So they keep boosting it. Like it just went up another quite a bit actually.
Respectable speeds for remote play.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it was nice and smooth. It was great.
Well, that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We will move on to Helldivers 2 since Jared and I have both played that. So obviously this game has been all over the news. This little tiny game that became a big game somehow. And we played the original isometric top-down version.
Quite a bit for game nights.
Back in game night, quite a bit. It was a lot of fun, really hard. And obviously they changed the perspective to third person, but man, it's still... I think it's more fun and still fucking hard. And... like Jared and I,
no doubt there.
Like Jared and I we generally when we're playing together, we're just playing on easy together. But we did bump it up just to medium, and we were just getting our asses kicked.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing easy for a while.
Yeah, you got to grind out some, I don't know, unlock some more stratagems.
Yeah.
But what the cool thing is about the game is that you unlock these stratagems and then you enter in a code. So while you're playing, you enter in these like up, down, left, right Konami codes. And it brings in like orbital strikes, or it'll drop resupply, or
it's all with the D-pad.
Yeah, you do like napalm. So you'll be like sitting there and you'll be fighting. It's like, oh shit, we got a huge group. We need to like decimate some of these enemies. So then someone will like, say I'm gonna drop this. Watch out, and then it'll like laser a target. Got to get the fuck out of the way or you're gonna get fucking, because friendly fire is always on. So like that's part of the fun too. It's fucking hilarious.
Have you killed Jared yet?
We've done pretty good. We haven't killed
each other. We've probably shot each other a little bit, but like there's too much other shit going on that it's just like you don't really have time to just like sit around unless you're like on fucking like there's a lower difficulty than easy that I played on solo, and there's like just not a lot going on. So like that I could see where you just like get bored. But like when it's like crazy, like in medium, Jared and I were just running constantly shooting. I'm surprised we didn't kill each other, but we're just getting slaughtered by bugs and we're just dropping shit from the sky, and so much fun. And the effects are really, really cool. It's just dropping the bombs, like the huge ones from the sky. It's such a cool thing. That's worth playing the game right there. Just watching the explosions. There's also jets that'll do like airstrikes, so like they'll like do a flyby napalm strike. So and that's my favorite one because like it flies in and just, and so like I think the last time Jared and I played, we like finished this. We were waiting for the drop ship. As we were loading into the dropship, I threw the napalm strike just outside our door. And so it's like coming. And then Jared's like, you don't think that's going to kill our ship, is it? I was like, I hope not. So just as we're taking off,
not.
Just as we're taking off, it's just this massive napalm strike where we were, and all these. It's I don't know. It's super fun, and it's so up its own. It's so in on its own joke about democracy and freedom.
Yeah.
And it's super fun. I don't know. For $40
Have they resolved
game,
all the server issues now?
my understanding is like, that's not an issue anymore. And I think that was more. I mean, it was a pretty big issue, but no, it was everywhere. It was happening on place. I mean, when I first got it, the first night I got it, I didn't get in till like midnight, cause shit.
Yeah.
But and then back then, people were like, "Is the game broken?" Because it wouldn't give you a menu screen that like the lobby's full. It would just like stop.
Yeah.
It'd just be black screen.
It wouldn't tell you what was going on
No.
and why it was.
But
not
like these
going
guys
anywhere.
weren't expecting it to hit this much, you know?
Has
I mean,
more people playing this than their original game ever got.
yeah, I think they were thinking like maybe
wild.
100,000 people were gonna play this. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like really small, and then they've like scaled up to like I think around 700 now, 700,000, 800,000.
Their servers go up to
Servers?
800,000 at this point.
Yeah,
Kind of nice to see a game go the other way, though. You know, instead of it being a game where they expect
Yeah.
everyone and it just dies.
and I think
it's
something
complete
funny,
surprise.
something funny I learned. I was reading an article last week about it. They're using the same game engine that they made Helldivers 1 with, and the game engine is defunct.
It's obsolete.
It's
It hasn't
obsolete.
been updated
the company,
for a long time.
The company doesn't work on it, so they had to like design this. Their engineers had to like rework this whole engine. It seems kind of crazy. So that they're just kind of like recycling this old engine to make it work. It's kind of cool, kind of a funny story. But no, it's kind of a cool story of this little team making this big game, I guess, or not a big game, but it's being seen as this big
popular game.
Very popular. Seems to be holding a lot of players and stuff, but it's just a lot of fun. The music is fucking awesome.
I need to play more of it.
We should have played this weekend, but I was caught up in my other project. But I have like 8 hours in it right now.
I have like two or three.
I've played a lot. Playing with randoms is actually not that bad. It's not toxic or anything. Everyone's really helpful. Everyone's just out to have fun. I don't know. It's been a pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I did hear something on like the PC version, Jared. I don't know, you might have read this article too. They're taking their stream decks and programming the stratagems. So like when they get down, they just hit it with one button instead of having to enter in the whole code. It's kind of funny. It's like, nerds.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anything we can do to make it easier.
Right.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Well, I could see it like in some of those guys are like doing like, because Helldiver mode is like the hardest, and I haven't even tried that yet, but I don't even know if I have it unlocked. But
I remember having a controller for my PC a long time ago where I could program inputs into specific buttons. Like, I want to program Fireball from Street Fighter into this one button. You know, I could do stuff like that. So I could see a controller coming out for that, just for stratagems. It'd be pretty cool.
Dave just sent me a message here, and I totally fucking forgot that Dave had a demo. You guys need to keep me honest. You guys need to keep me honest.
I just figured you thought I hadn't played anything this week.
No. I knew. Oh my god! I'm just like, you guys gotta like, hey, whoa. Anyway, I don't really have anything else to say about Helldivers unless you guys have questions about the game itself.
Do you think I'd like it?
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. If we could all get together and play it, I think
see.
we'd have a lot of fun. Yeah.
There's not a bunch of stuff convoluting it. You're not wandering around anywhere doing story stuff. It's just this is the game. You upgrade your shit. You go destroy stuff. You might get some currency to upgrade your ship. You know,
it's the game that like Alien Fireteam wishes it was.
Yeah.
Because there's no threat in Alien Fireteam.
No,
but it is just a constant attack of just shit, and then it's fucking hilarious. Like they're always saying "for freedom," or I don't know. It's just hilarious. It's way more fun. Yeah.
I just like how they call it managed democracy. It's funny. But do you want to move to Dave's demo before you get to Pacific?
Yeah, we can we let Dave talk about his demos. His demo. Yeah. We could do the Dr.Demo.
Yeah.
Take a little break from the new stuff.
I played a really bizarre game that I've not played anything like it, and it was kind of fun. It's I have to have it up on the other screen because I would never remember the whole name. It's I am Air Traffic Controller Airport Hero Haneda.
What?
Wow, that's quite the title.
Was this game made by AI?
What's the acronym?
I don't know, but apparently I did a little bit more research. It's a popular series in Japan, but basically you're at this Japanese airport and you are the air traffic controller, and so you've got to control all the planes landing and taking off, and make sure they don't crash into each other on the ground, or you've got one taking off at the time one's landing on the runway, and get them to the gates on
That sounds
time
fun
and
to
all the
mess
rest
up.
of it. It was pretty. Like I played the first one. The first level's just a tutorial, and it's just like how to make a plane take off. And I was like, oh, this isn't going to be too good. And then I played like the third. It's got 5 levels to play for free on the demo. So I played the third one. I was like, oh, this might be, and it definitely got a little more interesting. And because you've got to try and remember where you've got all these planes taking off, landing on different runways, and you're trying to make the ones that land go to the gate, but you can't make the ones that taxi into the runway go on the same path, or so it's kind of fun.
So is it
actually
really simulator like, or is it more gamified, like more of a gamey game?
I'd say it's simulator like, because you can issue in like when you're issuing ground through the ground control, you can only, when you issue a command, it takes a few seconds before you can issue another command, because the guys talk on the radio, to confirm that things are happening. And so you can't, it's not like a super quick game. So, if you give someone permission to depart, that takes a few seconds. So if there's someone going to crash on the runway, you can't send an order to tell them to stop taxiing.
What happens if someone crashes?
What's the funniest wreck you had? or
Unfortunately, nothing happens. If the 2 planes get close enough together that they're going to collide, it just says game over.
caused?
I was hoping for a big flaming
Oh
wreck.
man.
Yeah, darn.
Cop out the game.
I even
Man.
tried making one take off at the same time as one was landing, like going into each other on the runway, but that didn't work. But all in all, it was something a little different, and I actually quite enjoyed it. The only reason I wouldn't get it is it's a $50 game, and it's like I enjoyed it,
Jesus,
but just
really?
not.
How
Not
old is
that
this
much.
game?
It's a PlayStation 4 game. I'm not entirely sure when it was released. And it shows. I mean, it's not the greatest graphics or anything like that. But
Yeah, I was watching a trailer of it.
yeah. So, and then, oh gosh, it was released in 2012 apparently.
Wow.
Damn.
Is it on PS3 too?
It might be, or it's
Or PC?
maybe the first one in the series was released then.
Or it could be a PC game and then it was ported.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of a fun little game, and
Is there like a narrative, or is it just very?
it's very like you've just got it's like a half-hour window or an hour window, not in real time, but it goes a little faster than that. But you've got flights taking off that need to take off in the right order and at the right time, and then you've got flights landing that you need to get to the gates where they're meant to
management
land
game.
and stuff. Yeah,
Interesting.
but it's like all these bits going on. I must admit, I would highly recommend playing the demo if it sounds at all interesting to you, because it was a fun little demo, and it took me about probably an hour to play the 5 levels that were there. And one thing I really liked that they did was 2 of the levels were from the actual game, but 3 of the levels aren't actually in the full game. So it's kind of like, just something a little different if you've already played the game.
Little taste.
So I feel like it was a really fair, good demo, if you know what I mean. It gave you a real idea of what the game was and what you were getting into. And it did have that 90s music, like Sega music on a loop that got really annoying after a while. Like jingly like from a Sonic game.
So that's the
Which
one to turn the music off and pull Spotify up.
What are you
Huh?
talking
Yeah.
about? Certain
Did you-
people love
did
that.
you-
There's certain
You get
people that love that
C, B,
stuff.
A,
Certain
and then you
DJs
get
love that kind of
S.
music.
Yep.
Huh.
But yeah, if you like that kind of music, you like this game.
Is there any
Yeah.
bugs in the demo, or pretty bug free?
No, and it obviously was a pretty graphically nice looking game for its time, because there is a photo mode, like how you can press a button and it gets rid of all the text on the screen, and you just
Hmm.
photo, and you can move the camera around and do all that stuff.
What
so.
are you looking at most of the time when you're playing this game? I'm curious.
So you have like a flight board on the left-hand side of departures and arrivals, and you use the up and down arrow to go through them, and as it chooses one, it goes to that plane in the airport,
Interesting.
and then you can use your joystick to look around the plane and zoom in and zoom out and that kind of stuff.
Licensed airlines or fake ones?
I'm not that familiar with my Japanese airlines, so I don't know.
Probably Air Japan,
Are
I would
there-
imagine. I don't know.
Are there other ways to fail the game other than crashes?
Yeah, so it's done on points. You have to get a minimum number of points. So if you don't issue an order to the plane in time, then you don't get the points, and it'll start doing its own thing. So you kind of like, it has these little like icons that appear next to the plane, and green ones you're telling, it's just like you can tell them if you want to. Blue ones are like you need to do you need to give them permission or transfer them over to air traffic control or permission to take off or land. And then red ones are really bad.
And is there dialogue? Like if there's a near miss, do you hear dialogue from the pilots being like, "Hey, what the hell's going on up there?" Or
I never got one of that, but there is recorded dialogue of like, control, this is tower, flight number, what. So it's got full dialogue.
Very clinical dialogue, though. Nothing.
Yes, very air traffic
So really
control.
good voice acting is what you're saying.
The best.
Mhm.
But I found it a really fun game, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I was expecting to.
So not
Like
a buy,
I say,
not a die, but a firm try.
Yeah, a firm try, and to be quite honest, the demo is a really good indication of what you're getting into. So
There must be somebody who likes those type of games.
yeah,
And the simulator fucking market is crazy anyway, man. I mean, there's so many of those games.
yeah. I mean,
it's crazy.
you've got that Japanese one where you the train simulator, and then there's a bunch of them. So, but it was kind of fun. It'd be like an ideal mobile game if you were just if you had it on your phone and you just wanted to while away like 15 minutes while you're waiting for something. It's that kind of game.
Do you feel because looking at the trailer, it seemed like it's more designed for PC, but do you feel the controller plays well with the control scheme they have?
I felt it played pretty nicely. I think I needed to reverse the camera control for when you were turning around, because for some reason it always seemed wrong to me. But maybe that's it. But other than that, no, I felt like it was pretty. I can see how it would be a little better with a mouse and keyboard, but it worked pretty well.
What's its name again?
Yeah. Where is it? I am I am an air traffic controller, airport hero, Haneda.
Anita?
Wow.
It might be Haneda. I don't know how you say it, But yeah,
I am an air traffic controller, airport hero.
Haneda?
Oh, Hanedo. Hanedo?
Haneda.
Haneda. I think
Haneda.
Haneda is a city in
Haneda.
Japan.
Oh.
Haneda.
Yeah,
Oh, so maybe like the sequels are like Osaka or
I think this came out in
Tokyo.
2023 by the looks of it, so it's a relatively new game.
Whew. But not on PS5.
No,
Hmm.
it came out on PS4, so.
Okay. Trying to get kids to, I guess maybe we must be short air traffic controllers. We need to like, this is
Shit, Japan's trying to get their population up. They got bigger problems than air traffic controllers.
we got to get them over there. Got to fly them over there first. How are we gonna land them
Yep.
safely?
Fly the day over.
How are you going to join the Mile High Club if there's no aircraft?
Huh.
All right. Thank you, Dr.Demo, for that riveting demo dialogue. Yes.
Oh, you could get
Glorious.
it on the Switch, Ian.
You could get it on the Switch. I'd have to dust off my Switch. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know my Switch runs. I'm sure it does.
It's too covered in Nintendo ways.
Yeah. I have the newest Nintendo Switch. I could sell it used, but it's brand new. Anyway. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. How much is it on Switch, Jared?
I don't know.
Also, maybe it's
I
like,
just saw there was a trailer for it.
Oh, that's funny. That makes sense though if it's a Japanese game.
Yeah, #1 selling console over there. And here. So, Ian, how do you like Pacific Drive?
So I haven't played a lot of it, like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. I think say it's an hour, so. But I feel like I played it way longer than an hour, so. I think this game is fucking awesome, and I feel bad that I'm not playing it. That's one of those games that, like, for some reason, I don't know. I was really into video games a couple weeks ago, and then this week I've just been not interested in playing it. But like, I feel bad because that game. Leading up to it, there's a lot of kind of hype from certain people about this game, and I was a little concerned about some of the concern in it was like the menus are kind of hard to navigate and hard to like figure out. But I was still really interested in the idea of like just having to like drive this car and craft pieces and keep it alive and do, go into this science fiction kind of weird zone. I think it's awesome. I think it's really easy to pick up. The game is basically you're a delivery person. I like to think of it as a sequel to Lake, I guess. No. But you're a delivery person, and you're in the Pacific Northwest. You're in the Olympic Peninsula, where Dave and I went last year. Anyway, you're driving. You're delivering this package, and as you get to your point, you get sucked into the exclusion zone, and this is like this walled off zone, and all this weird shit happens inside there, I guess. Anyway, you basically come upon this little garage, and there's a station wagon inside, and the station wagon becomes your best friend, basically, because it's what's going to help you survive while you try and get the fuck out of there. So you gather resources and craft, and you're constantly fixing shit on your car. It's funny too because the cool thing about the tutorial in the beginning when you're driving the regular car is like, oh, this is how driving is. It works really well. Oh yeah, drive, steer, turn, honk the horn, turn on the lights. You learn all this stuff on a really nice vehicle. So then when you get into the fucking shitstorm, the car does not respond accordingly. Like if one of the wheels is gone,
it's a bit of a beat.
Right? No, it's a straight up beater. So like and then as you take damage, like one of the wheels will go away, so then you can't turn. Like you're like trying to turn, and you're trying to, there's all this kind of crazy shit that goes on. But it's kind of really in depth, and I feel for Jared because I know he wants a VR version, and I feel like there should be a VR version.
Absolutely looks like a VR game.
It probably.
And I would love to play it.
I'm glad there isn't a VR version because I'm okay with that. But like, I think that I hope this game does somewhat well because it probably deserves a VR version because you're in the cockpit and you're driving, but then you have to look at other things in your car. Like you look down, you look to the right to your computer. When you stop the car, you have to turn off the ignition. You have to put the car in park. There's all this kind of shit. You can look in the mirrors. You can look out the back, and there's shit driving. Like there's no real villains per se. There's just the world is just. There's all these storms that are just trying to kill you, and you're just trying to.
Ever since the first trailer, I've been like on board.
And then you would think it's
so
not, just kind of like No Man's Sky, but no story. But then they do. There's like a lot of story. There's like these people that are out in this zone too that they're trying to help you. You're trying to get to them so they can help you get out. And so like every time you kind of get further along, it kind of triggers some story. So like. Because of that, it keeps me engaged to want to keep playing. Whereas No Man's Sky always felt like you're just kind of out there doing a thing, and there's not really anything to really make me want to keep doing the thing. Whereas this is like, oh yeah, no, now you have to do this. And, there's this one group of these dudes that are kind of funny, and then there's just like this lady that's just kind of crotchety, and she's talking shit to you, and I don't know, it's all, and they're all really well voice acted, and so I really like the game. I really look forward to getting back to it. I just I took on a task that I need to finish. So, but and I have to play Helldivers with Jared. There's like so many things I need to take care of. But I think it's a really cool game. It's only $30. It's I made this. My first extraction didn't go quite according to plan, and I thought it was really funny. There's a video on my YouTube page about that, but somehow I started this thing, and it caused the world to freak out and flip my car upside down, and I was like, what the fuck do I do now? And that was fun to figure out. But, super fun, super cool. I'm glad I picked it up. Looking forward to playing through that. So, yeah. And if you have any questions, but if not, we can move on.
So, are there horror elements in it? I was watching
It's
Skill Up review of it, and it looked like there were kind of some horror elements to it, but not.
I mean, it's an eerie science fiction-y eerie world, and there's some cool when you're like in the world, like, because you drive and you also get out of your car and walk around and collect stuff. It's a lot of looting and harvesting some materials. But like when you're like walking through the woods and it's dark and like one of the remnant things comes with its light comes floating through the trees, and the lights are kind of like, it's really kind of eerie looking. But there's nothing that's like, the only time it gets really intense is like when you have to extract. So you put this energy orb in your car, it gives you a destination, and you have to get to that destination before the storm gets you, and you have to get out. So you're fucking in your car racing to get to this thing. And maybe you're driving, and then you have to go off road because it's it's off in the middle of nowhere, and then you hit a jump and you go downhill and you slide into a tree. Well, that damages your car, and then you can't fucking control very well anymore. So you're like kind of like driving like sideways, and it's like, and then you finally extract, and so that's cool, you made it, and you have all the shit that you collected, but your car's beat up to shit now. You have to fix it before you go out again. So it's like this kind of fun loop. I guess.
Yeah, game sounds so cool.
I guess your car is kind of haunted. It's also a remnant. So as the game progresses, I guess it'll start doing weird shit. Like it'll start acting weird. Like the window wipers will just start coming on, or it'll just start doing some random shit. Or it can like run you over. Like if you don't turn it off and put it in park, if you like leave it running and you get out, it could run you over. There's all these kind of funny things it'll do. But the game's difficulty, if you don't like any of that shit, the game is, I'm leaving it as it is right now, but like the entire game it's all these like accessibility and difficulty settings that you can just turn off. Like, I don't want weird car glitch stuff. You just turn that off and it won't do it. So it has like a bunch of settings, very, very friendly. If you just want to like mainline through it, that's your choice. But
so if you find like one particular game mechanic that
you don't like,
annoys you,
you can turn it
just
off.
like, nah, not having that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So far, I haven't been annoyed. I mean, I've only played it for an hour and a half, but we'll see. But I really like it. The music is awesome. I think the music's really moody and great.
Okay. I haven't heard anybody talk about this.
Is it like synthwave, or is it something else?
It's got a little bit of kind of that, as a little bit of that, but also a little bit of just kind of folky grunge stuff going on. Kind of Pacific Northwest-y thing, and it's cool.
I've heard most of the music comes from your car. Like even if you park next to a building and you walk around, you like listening to the radio from your car.
Initially, in the other car. Accurate? In my car, not yet. Maybe you upgrade the stereo, but so far it's just.
Okay.
Anyway, it's cool. It's a cool game.
Cool. Yeah, I really want to do that game someday. I will absolutely play that one.
Pacific Drive.
Yes, please.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like they have.
That's only on PlayStation, isn't it? And PC?
Yeah.
Right now?
Like Helldivers?
Mm-hmm.
Like Rebirth,
yeah.
Right? I mean, Rebirth.
Yeah. I think, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if
it's only PS5.
It might only be PS5, but it didn't Remake come to PC or no?
Maybe eventually. I don't know.
Anyway, maybe not.
I don't recall.
All right. Yeah, okay. That's video games. You guys want to quickly go around and see anything else you guys want to talk about you've been playing? I know John's been fucking munching through Mass Effect. You done yet?
No, I'm on Mass Effect 3, so I'm on the last one, and I'm kind of taking my time.
Taking his time.
So, I have enough I'm well past the minimum for my military force, but I'm still just uh going through a lot of the side content. Some of it, one thing, and this is just it's not necessarily a knock against the game, but because they've put all the DLC, sometimes it's hard for me to distinguish what's DLC and what is part of the vanilla game. Like I got through the part where you get the apartment and you go through the casino, and then
Yeah.
probably like halfway through that, I realized, oh, this has to be DLC.
Mhm.
And so and
Yeah.
it's also kind of a shift. Like all of a sudden, like Shepard becomes a one-liner machine, and I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? So
I mean,
some of
I
that
feel like
stuff
my
can be.
Shepherd was a one-liner machine in the second one.
Oh,
No?
really?
Yeah. Serious?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
No,
guess
I just he always came across as being serious to me.
Oh.
But maybe like I always play as a paragon, so maybe as a renegade he's more of a dick, and I don't know.
Mm. Did you do the pull-up challenge yet?
Oh no, I haven't done that yet.
I did it. I did all
Funny.
of it. It took forever. I don't
Oh
rec-
man.
I don't remember if I did that when I went through the game.
Oh, and Ian and Dave, so I don't know, I feel like the game, I'm sure it didn't have a lower budget, but their like beginning of the game was kind of hard to get through because it seemed like I just remembered. Maybe it's just they just wanted to change the tone and make it more realistic. But I just remember being a lot more like bloom and lens flare effects in the first Mass Effect 1 and 2. And then in the third one, it just seemed like the game came off as being cheaper. Like some of the some of the loading screens were just kind of still images versus in Mass Effect 1 and 2, they would have a lot of movement to the loading screens. um the music is great in Mass Effect 1 and 2, but then in certain parts in Mass Effect 3, the combat music, it just felt like they got a MIDI keyboard and they were like, okay, just like put out some like generic combat beat and then we'll throw that in. But it just, and I know, I'm sure the budget wasn't lower than Mass Effect 1 or 2, but there's like certain parts in the game where the game feels kind of cheap, or they were trying to cut corners on the budget in some weird ways. Did you guys notice that?
Can't say I did.
I don't think I noticed that. I mean, I know that for a fact they spent more on it because it had a multiplayer mode. Obviously, you don't get it in this version because that's no longer around. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Jared and we played a lot of that multiplayer. I actually missed that.
Tons. That was awesome.
But, no, I don't remember it feeling cheap. I don't know what you mean by the menu screens having a still image.
Well, they're less dynamic. That's what I'm saying. Like, so for the loading screens, they're way less dynamic than they were in Mass Effect 1 and 2.
Yeah, but but I don't remember. You know what's funny is I can't even remember what a loading screen in Mass Effect 3 looks like. I know what they look like in 2 because it's just that digital shit of that fucking thing going to the planet over and over again.
Yeah.
But
But they don't have that. It's just like a
Well,
kind of like a semi-still image of the Normandy cruising around, or
that
even when you're going in between the decks of the ship, it just shows like the still image of the deck that you're going to on the Normandy for Mass Effect 3 versus Mass Effect 2. It shows the actual like animation of him getting on the elevator and the elevator going down to the deck that you're going to. So there's just like weird little things like that where it just seems like they were trying to save money on the budget by um, just fitting in more still images. And I also felt like it was hard. Like now I'm into it, but it was like hard to get into. The game didn't grab me. Like I think Mass Effect 1 has a really great intro level. Mass Effect 2 has a great intro level. Well, the opening cinematic is great. That whole thing is awesome.
because
But
I
then
don't
Mass Effect 3,
I like Mass Effect 2's opening where you blow me up. I don't like playing through Mass Effect 2's opening level when you wake up. Like
yeah,
fighting
no,
through
I
the
agree.
hospital, I do not
Yeah.
think that's.
It's
I don't
boring,
enjoy
yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's
escaping
not
that.
a great
Yeah.
level.
Mass Effect 3. What is Mass Effect 3's opening level?
The
You're on
invasion of
Earth.
Earth.
Oh, I think that's fun. You don't like that?
Yeah, I quite like that. The like,
And
everything's
everyone's
going to
dying,
plan.
and then you leave and leave them behind to get killed. I like that.
Yeah,
It's stakes. You don't like that?
Was that the battle in London? Wasn't it in London or something? In Mass
I
Effect
think
3?
you're in the
No,
U.S.
at the
somewhere.
end. At the end, you're in
At the
London.
end. Oh,
But in
okay.
the
Yeah.
beginning, you're in the U.S. I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I know. Eventually, you end up there.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I didn't
it's-
enjoy the intro level for Mass Effect 3 as much. I think Mass Effect 1 is pretty good, and then the whole ship blowing up in Mass Effect 2 is great, and not so much the Cerberus station. Um, and then kind of like Earth being invaded, uh, I just felt like it's very much on rails, and which a lot of intro levels are going to be on rails, but um, I think the skyboxes, that part was cool to see the Reapers tearing Earth up. That was cool, but the actual mechanics and you know, you're kind of learning the cover system, and then you're fighting the cannibals. That stuff, I was like, okay, well, all right. Like, oh, they made the combat more of a shooter, so that was that was like
I guess
a
I
nice
ran
change.
through that so fast. It doesn't really. I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, it's
Oh, and I woke the Prothean up, so I think the Prothean is pretty great. I think that's a cool
yeah,
character.
I enjoyed the Prothean too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Like his accent, I think is really cool, and then I like that he just kind of talks down to everyone, which makes sense because they would be primitive. So for him, it's like, well, you all are still primitive compared to the
Yeah.
Protheans.
Have you lost anybody from your crew yet? Like from the beginning to now?
No.
Oh.
No, everyone is alive. I haven't lost anyone.
You didn't lose Rex.
No, I didn't lose Rex.
So, because the cool thing is when you come out of that elevator and like the board of like people that have died from the Normandy, and so like that was the
Oh, yeah.
that was the gut wrench when like you noticed that because I lost Tally in Mass Effect 2, and I just saw the game was just like fucking taking a shit on me every time I walked by that board.
Yeah, it sucks because you can only
Yeah.
romance her in Mass Effect 3.
You can romance her in Mass Effect 2. It's at the very end. You can romance Tally.
I guess I don't remember that.
Oh, and for the romance part, I did end up romancing the Asari. What's her name?
You can't romance her again, can you?
Which one, Liara or
Liara?
Liara, thank you.
Samantha?
Yeah, you can romance. I romanced her in the first one.
But you can't
The
romance her
second
again.
one you can. It's in the Shadow Broker DLC. You can romance her.
You kind of have a moment with her, but you don't really. It's not. You can
She,
romance.
she spends the night at your bunk.
Yeah, but
you have
you can be fucking anybody. You can go fuck. You can go fuck
You
someone else
can,
too.
but see, I looked that up because I was
No.
like, is this gonna fuck me over if
No.
I romance someone?
No.
And from what I was reading online, it says, oh well, if you try to if you romance Liara in the third one, the person you romance in the second one is gonna get pissed at you. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna abstain from romancing anyone in the second. So Shepard just looks at the photo of Liara on your desk before you go into the collector's base. Like that's his romance section. And then I do like that you can rekindle with Liara pretty much in the very beginning of the third game, but then the romance doesn't really go anywhere.
It ends. Oh,
like,
it totally ends. You can go fuck
So
someone
it's just-
else.
yeah.
So
and I just
here's
like,
here's the thing with that. That's the fucking thing with that. So like I romanced her and I did the Shadow Broker romance thing, and then in the third one, and I didn't fucking romance Thane at all in the second one. I may have talked to him, but I never like romanced him. So in the third one, we did.
oh, Thane.
No, I
Thane
know.
does.
No,
Yeah.
So in the third one, I go and we do the little romance of Liara. We have our little tender moment, and then every time I keep talking to her after that, she's all pissed off about me and Thane because I visited him at the fucking hospital, and I'm like, dude, I just visited the dude at the fucking hospital. What the fuck does that mean? So then I went and visited him at the hospital again, and I went and fucked him because like fuck that shit. Because somehow he's hot for me. I didn't even romance him in the second one. So
Yeah, he's on death's door.
I'd be
and you're just
fucking,
like,
Thane. So in the third one, I kissed Liara.
Sympathy.
Then I fucked I'm fucking. What's her handler to the right? Man, her and I got along. Her and I got up on each other a lot. Like,
Oh,
she
Peyton or something like that.
whatever your
Trayton
little helper. Yeah.
assistant.
So we did the shower scene and the sex on the ship, and then in the apartment we did the hot tub sex scene. Dude, I fucking that shit, and then I fucked Thane a bunch. So it's like just getting around. Fuck Liara, man.
But yeah, I'm not done yet. I'm taking my time. I want to assemble as many of the forces as possible.
I don't know if you can totally max it out because it's not the multiplayer.
I don't know. I mean, it's like close to three-quarters of the way
assuming
full.
they changed that because
So I'm past the
multiplayer
halfway
boosted all
point.
that.
I think there are one or two things as well that if you've already gone through the DLC, you can't go back and get them. They're only like 20 points or something stupid, but it's like a couple of artifacts that you need to bring back to people.
Don't they call that like world readiness or something? What do they call that?
I mean, mine was really close to like being topped.
Yeah, mine was.
There was definitely that one artifact that Dave's talking about. There's a mission you do, and if you don't get it during that mission, you can't go back.
The one when you go to the bottom of the ocean. I think there's one on that.
I think I got that one though. There's another one. There's just like just one. I think it's the level where you get the Prothean.
Yeah, it might be. And then there's something
in there. There's something in there that you're supposed to gather, and you never get to go back to that level with a Prothean.
Yeah.
So if you don't get it, then you're kind of asked out of that mission. But I got the one at the bottom of the level. That's DLC though too.
Yeah, there's a couple of like DLC like little bits.
Have you done that, the bottom of the water thing yet, Joe?
No.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that was my favorite one.
That's a pretty cool level, actually.
Nice. No, right now I'm still investigating Leviathan.
That's it. So if you keep going down that path, it'll take you to this thing.
Yeah.
But I do like it. I was kind of trepidatious about playing Mass Effect 3 because I know it got a lot of flack.
Best one.
But yeah, I like it. I mean,
fans
I think
suck.
So we're gonna get everyone together to do in 2024 to do a Andromeda playthrough. We're gonna do
that'd be cool. Yeah, it's probably cheap too to pick up.
Dude, it's $7.99 most of the time on sales digitally.
Okay,
I might even still have the disc.
I have my disc version, but I'd have to play it again. So, but yeah, usually it's like $7.99 on the sale on PSN. Most of the time.
That is one. I noticed weird like graphic stuff in Mass Effect 2, like the woman who was cross-eyed, but in Mass Effect 3, I haven't really come across any of that shit.
I feel like it just
when they smile, they're goofy looking, but that's about it.
I mean,
but that's not even.
It's that generation, dude. That's just that generation. It's like a PS3, Xbox 360 generation. Some of that shit was just kind of weird. How about you, Dave? You played anything aside from your demos?
Just a little bit of Rocket League, and that was about it. Not really played much this week. Cool. One of those weeks.
How about you, Jared? Anything else other than Rebirth?
Man, I've been playing all the Final Fantasies. As you know, I bought the Pixel remaster. I finished Final Fantasy 1 and 2. I'm working on 3. I finished Final Fantasy Origin, Strangers of Paradise.
What are you doing this time?
That's nice. Well, the classic Final Fantasy games I can play when the kids are awake. So
because they're like
just hanging out or whatever.
Just 8-bit games, Violence.
Yeah, and they only take 10 to 12 hours to beat those like classic ones in most cases. Because I'm playing like super ramped up. I get 4 times the experience, and I get 4 times the money, and I really just cheated out because I don't want the challenge. I just want to. I've never gotten to play through them, so I just want to get the stories and know the characters and stuff like that. So I've been enjoying those, and I want to play all of them. So I'm working on 3. The Pixel remaster goes all the way up to 6. So eventually, I think in the next several years, I want to do all the Final Fantasies. I never beat Final Fantasy 8. I never beat Final Fantasy 12. And I think that's it.
What about 14?
We
I've beat
completed the main
14, the original
story.
story.
Oh,
of
really?
that, but not the DLC. I never
the
played
DLC.
11 though.
Yeah, Jared and I and Jason.
It
We
is
all played.
14 the online one, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Bryn,
Okay.
we all played that together.
hmm Yeah, so I'm trying to finish my Final Fantasies, the mainline Final Fantasies. Maybe someday I'll go into 10, 2, and 3. Some of the extra like sequel stuff. There was like a Final Fantasy 4 sequel once upon a time for the Wii. As far as I know, it never went anywhere else. I'm going to try and hunt that down after I finish 4. Yeah, I'm just in it. I've always loved Final Fantasy, and
I got this one
I
for you,
think
Jared.
my excitement for Rebirth was hidden underneath the Pixel remaster, and now I'm just all Final Fantasy all the time. Let's go.
Nice. Well, because of the DLC we mentioned earlier, Shadow of the Erdtree, I did reinstall Elden Ring, and I've been reacclimating myself, and I put 4 or 5 hours in just fucking around, getting reacquainted with the systems of
Mine's
that
installed.
game. Oh, I uninstalled it way back because I just didn't. Well, here's a funny thing, Jared. I still haven't technically beat that game.
Huh?
I never beat the Elden Beast.
Oh, what?
Yeah, well, but knowing
Shit.
this now, it's actually a good thing because I don't have to go back and kill Moog. So I don't know.
Have you not defeated Moog?
No, I killed Moog, but
Okay.
but you've moved on to New Game Plus, right?
Yeah.
Have you killed him in that?
I think I've
Because you might have to go
almost made it there.
Because I think you all have to kill him to. Because that's
Yeah,
the gateway.
supposedly that's where you get.
That's
to
the
DLC.
gateway into the DLC, and the fact that I haven't moved on, I'm still in my. I'm just gonna not kill the Elden Beast until after I finish the DLC. So-
Yeah, I mean,
so-
yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't want to
that's-
run. I
that's
don't want to
fine.
run through the game again, really. So,
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna wait that out. But just running through and killing things, and I don't know. I respect my
Actually,
character.
I think
well,
the
I
last
actually
place I was at was down by Mog. I might have already beat him on my second playthrough. Yeah, maybe.
He's like
I'll have to-
he's actually one of the hardest bosses I had to face in my playthrough. He was really difficult.
Yeah, it took me a few tries. Yeah, but
But I'm excited, so I'm reacquainted with it, and I actually respect my character a couple times.
yeah, I
trying
mean,
different
supposedly
builds.
that won't even matter because it's
No,
gonna
I
have
know.
new weapons, a new upgrade system, all
Oh,
that
100%.
stuff. So it's like a whole game on its own.
But just for playing against, trying to optimize certain things I was doing in my character, because I have
Yeah.
a bunch of those tiers, so you can respect your character. So I had 12 of them. So I was just well, let's build. See, I was hoping I could do a strength blood loss character, but man, grinding out fucking smithing stones to upgrade this one weapon I have to make it the badass was tedious. So I wasted a couple hours trying to grind out stones, but it's just
Fun. It's
this
fun.
game,
It is.
but the
Yeah.
game doesn't give them out enough. So I was just fuck this. So I went back and I did a dexterity blood loss build. So that's where I'm at right now. But no,
Cool.
game is so fun. Anyway, so I played a bunch of that, and then I put that down, and then I stopped.
You
playing
were
video
never
games.
much for wearing anything.
Well, if I can get away with not having to wear anything, but anyway, game's awesome. I'm looking forward to the DLC and seeing what
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
craziness
me
it
too.
brings. Anyway,
It's going to be huge, so I'm
hope
excited
so.
for that too. That's June 21st, I believe, was the date.
yeah, and it's gonna be a massive
Nice.
DLC too. So
$40. That's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, also that month, you're very excited for this one. Is Destiny, the final shape?
until the next shape.
Well, I mean, you get in March you get the
Spinal
DLC
shape
for
and then the wrong
free.
colours.
The latest DLC, you get it for free.
I know, but we also got the one previous to that one for free. So I have
Yeah,
two
and
DLC.
nobody wanted to play it.
I
so
don't because that
sucks.
game, you load that game up now, and it's just
so
you're just so
good, it's
fucking
so good.
lost, and I feel man, it's too much. I want to love that game. Did you get your Mass Effect items?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I did, and they aren't really recognizable as Mass Effect items.
Oh, that sucks. That's too bad.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed.
They
Yeah,
looked kind of cool in the commercial. Oh well.
they look cool, but they don't look very Mass Effect to me.
No, I mean Destiny just needs to reboot. Need Destiny 3 for me to get back in. It's too.
Yeah, I think after the final shape, I will be done. It's like the
Do you
end of
think,
this big arc.
Do you think Bungie's going to lose control of Destiny and it's just going to be Sony led?
There's a good chance.
It doesn't. I don't think they care. I don't know if they even. That game has come under so much criticism right now. Like, and I'm sure it's bled a lot of players.
Well, it's the biggest problem is that the final shape got delayed so much. It was supposed to be out in February, so the season has been going on for a long time, and it still has all the way till June when the final shape comes
that's
out.
a big issue, but like Lightfall underperformed.
Yeah,
So like Lightfall was a bad thing. I mean, I think Bungie just needs to do something new. I think they need to put Destiny to bed. You know, put it out to pasture.
I'd be okay with that.
You know,
I mean,
No
I love
forever.
the stuff Bungie makes, and I would like to see them do something new.
put a tiny
I
support.
mean, I know they have Marathon, whatever that's going to be.
We'll see if that comes
But-
out. But
Yeah, we'll see.
I think they need to
I mean,
put,
they've
like,
already
a-
made Marathon. Just go back to your old Apple whatever
Oh,
and play
jeez.
it.
They need to put a small support team on Destiny and just let it like live out its life as a free to play game and start releasing that content free and just let it die and then move on to something new.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see. Because what would bring you, Dave, you and John back? What would get you to play Destiny
Well, I
again?
played it a year or two ago. I think I played Lightfall when it was just free on Xbox Game Pass, and I was kind of taken with it because I thought it did bring up memories of like Bungie, at least with that Lightfall. I felt like, man, they can still make some like set piece levels and huge bosses and big worlds where you just feel so small, and the gameplay is still tight. The problem is though, I mean, if the season goes long enough, it just gets boring no matter what. Like, unfortunately, so unless there's that constant drip of new content, and then I also didn't like that. Just they've kind of developed a reputation for just kind of bleeding their audience, with having over 5 different currencies and. I
5?
get it. I get it's a free to play game, but
No, it's not free to play. I mean, the base is.
well, the
Yeah, the
version
base
I
game,
played was
yeah.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the other. So I think it's unfortunate that now they're struggling, but it seems like it's a long time coming with how they've been kind of exploiting their audience in some ways.
How about you, Dave? What would take you to come back?
I just think it's like one of those games now. I'm too far out of it, and it take me ages to get back into the story, and I'm just not willing to put the time in. Kind of one of those things. If you've been putting the time in constantly going forwards, it's not like massive. But if you were to go back now and try and play through all the story and all the rest of it, I also feel like I was just stepping in the, in the 6th season of a TV show.
Right.
So it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just like you say. I feel like it's been going now 7 years or something. So getting on for that, and it's like any good TV show. It's got to have a final season, and then it's usually time for something new.
And there's not really a way to play the story from the start, is there, Jared? They've pretty much cut content.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
there's
something
certain
new.
things you can't play.
There's certain content, but like the original game, you can start from the beginning and play through it
Yeah.
if you want. If
And
you like.
like jumping in, it's a little different than when it first came out. So it's kind of fun to go back to the beginning and see what it's like.
That's what we should do.
Oh.
All roll new characters. Jump in
Yeah,
and see how
Do you
yeah.
think
fucked we are.
where Destiny was for Destiny 2 is a better spot than it's at now, or do you think it's a much better game now than what it was when it first launched.
I mean that's hard to say because Destiny 2, a lot of people really appreciated it when it rolled out because the story was more full than the first one. At least it was more relatable or something that people were more interested in. I don't know. It's been so long, but yeah, that's what I remember originally as people were like really liking. At least the really big story set pieces were super cool in Destiny 2.
I mean, we never
Um,
technically played that together. None of
No,
us
Well,
really.
yeah,
played
I bought
Destiny
all the
2
DLC
so
for
far.
Destiny 1, and it's funny because I remember Destiny 2 came out and it showed like the history of you and your teammates and stuff. It's like showing pictures of some big boss fights, and it shows all these people, you know, all, like Ian and Dave and all that were in this picture. And then the next DLC had, you know, less people, and the next DLC had nobody, and the other DLC had nobody, and it just tracked through that. And I'm like, yep, that's about right.
Yep.
I mean, if we were really hard up for content, we could like all roll up new characters and play Destiny 2 from the very
There's
beginning.
that's the problem with Destiny is there's too much stuff to play for people that love video games.
They did
It's
pull
like
out what
if
content,
you only
what
play
content
the
did they
game,
pull out though? They pulled out some of
it
the
was the
Shadow
Cade 6
Key.
stuff, I think. A lot of the
Oh.
Moon stuff, I think.
Yeah.
It yeah.
Didn't
I
they
think a lot of
recast
that
Cade?
like
Wasn't that part of the reason why they pulled some of that content out?
I thought they rotated through pulling that content out.
yeah, they rotate through some of that stuff. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
they'll probably remove stuff for the next one because the game file. If they didn't remove all that, the size of this game file
It'd be
on the
larger
hard
than Call of
drive
Duty.
would be absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, what? It'd probably be bigger than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's 160 gigs.
Isn't it 2 discs?
Yeah, 2 discs.
Yeah.
Each disc is 100 gigabytes on the PlayStation 5. I mean that's pretty nuts. Final Fantasy 16, they have like right at 100 gigs, so they could fit it on one disc. And Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is huge. And yeah, Destiny, if they kept all that content, I couldn't even imagine how big that file would be at this point.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's probably enough about Destiny again.
We can always talk about it. Always bring it back up.
Yeah, well, it's great. I still like playing it. I play it with my brother, though. I don't. Do any of you guys have any drift problems on your DualSense controller for PS5?
I did, and then I sent
Not
it off
yet.
to get repaired, and
Yeah, but yours
Yeah,
was at
for
launch,
some-
right? You had yours
yeah,
like
mine was at launch.
his was like a
Yeah.
lemon right out the box.
Yep.
For some reason, my brother, both of his controllers are drifting really bad. So I'm actually looking at my phone, about ready to order some potentiometers for my PS4 controllers and his PS5 controllers.
yeah,
so I
my
can replace the potentiometers.
my brother-in-law's like controller that came with his PS5 is developed like serious drift problems, like to the point where it's almost unplayable.
Yeah, like my PS4 controllers, I had a lot of issues with those, and I replaced just the potentiometer. I think this time I'm going to actually do soldering and remove the whole potentiometer, like plastic insert and all that stuff, instead of just replacing the little metal slidey piece. Because I'm not going to get in there with a Q-tip and alcohol and all that shit to clean it. I'm just going
You
to
don't do
replace the
that.
whole
You
damn
get the
thing.
if you buy a can of the electrical contact cleaner, it has a
Yeah.
straw, and you can squirt it directly in there, and then you just slide it back and forth, and that cleans it.
Huh.
And that way you don't have to take it apart or do anything. That's what it's for. Works really well
Yeah.
on like guitar knobs and volume knobs and that kind of stuff.
Oh, so it's not all scratchy when you adjust them.
Yeah, so you just
Yeah.
squirt a load of that in there, it displaces all the dust, and then by rotating it kind of cleans all the crud off, or if it's got mild corrosion. And it's designed for electronics, so it evaporates off and it's safe.
Huh.
So it's a good thing for cleaning like switches that are crackly and
And what is it called?
electrical
contact clean. You never heard of
cleaner,
this?
Buy it at the
No,
auto
bro.
parts store. It's about it's I don't know, $5 for a can or whatever. It's not much.
Put
Works,
in our
work-
All right.
works
in
great
your
for any buttons.
anything.
Yeah.
So you're saying WD-40 will not fix the problem?
No. What?
No,
That's not
WD-40 will make it worse.
worse.
Yeah, probably. That stuff has its
Because
purpose.
that's actually a lubricant, so it's
Yeah.
not. It doesn't evaporate.
It's
out.
gummy. It's gummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll gum up at a certain
You'll
point.
get more dust in there and more crap.
I think John is
Funny.
being a dick.
Yeah, I think he is too. But
All
And
right,
then
let's
you
do
also need some white lithium grease.
let's do some couch co-optionals and get. Oh wait, well, couch co-optionals, then some trivia, and then get out of here. But
Hey!
Oh, man.
who wants to start off? Who wants to kick it off with some couch co-optionals? Jared,
Not me.
not Jared.
I gotta
Dave.
think.
I've been watching. I don't know if you ever Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix. There's the 3 seasons of it. The later 2 seasons are like definitely influenced by Wrexham, but this is the show that gave those guys the idea to do this. And the first season of it is brutal and awesome because basically Sunderland gets relegated from the Premier League and goes down to Division 1, and then it follows them as they're trying to get back up to the Premier League, and not spoiler, it all goes to shit. And they get relegated again.
Oh wow, that's rough.
So it's like, yeah, and it's this balance of like, oh, we're only going to be in this league for a year, so we can overspend our budget and all the rest of it, and they just keep trying, and it just keeps getting worse. It's really fascinating. So
Cool.
unlike the Wrexham one, where the Wrexham documentary, it's obviously they get promoted and win things, or at least they're close to getting promoted, kind of thing.
Well, they
So,
did get promoted once.
yes.
The interesting thing about the Wrexham one, I mean, obviously there's a massive influx of money there, where I would imagine Sunderland doesn't have that.
Yeah, Sunderland's going the opposite way. They go from being in the Premier League, where you get
Yeah.
a load of money. From the
Wrexham's
league,
more
and-
exciting because they're
yeah.
at the very bottom, and they're going up.
Yep.
But there's 2 seasons of Wrexham, yet they played 3 seasons of football. So they kind of skip over the season where they were still, and then they skip to the season where they go up. It's
Yeah,
kind of
finally
interesting.
go up. Yeah.
But cool.
Anyway, Sunderland Till I Die. It's fascinating.
John or Jared?
Sure.
Jared, go for it.
So I don't think I mentioned this last time. It's been a couple weeks, but I watched the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series on Netflix.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
liked
nice.
it a lot. I don't like the hardcore fans can get bent because I thought it was a pretty good series. I had fun watching it.
Get bent. Bryn also.
I was
liked it, or she
excited
enjoyed
to
it.
watch the next episode every time, and I really enjoyed it. It's funny because I've been working through the seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender because I never watched it. So I just finished season 2 before
Yeah.
I even knew about the live action series. I didn't even know it was coming out until it did.
So
And I'm
now
like,
you're gonna go
oh,
watch
fuck
the
yeah.
movie.
Cool. The movie?
You've never seen the movie?
You've never seen the movie?
No.
No.
Oh no, I never watched the movie.
Ooh, it's so brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
you would not-
remember
you would
watching the
not-
trailers and
You
being
would not
put- yeah.
understand how M. Night Shyamalan could not make a movie. Like, you watch this movie and not understand that you're a filmmaker and yet you can't make a movie. Like, it is some of the worst filmmaking I have ever seen. Anyway.
Okay, I need to watch it now, just for shits and giggles.
Anyway.
Maybe next week I'll come back and be like, I just watched the Avatar: The Last Airbender
And
movie
loved
and
it.
thought it was the best
Yeah.
fucking film ever.
Good luck. All right. Maybe.
Yeah. Hey, every film has its audience.
That one. Okay. John, how about you?
No, I heard the CG was really bad.
It's not even that. It's just like every shot's a close up. Anyway. John, what do you got?
My fiance and I have been watching the TV series Ted on Peacock. The same Ted series with Seth MacFarlane about the teddy bear. So it pretty much takes place when they're in high school. The Mark Wahlberg character, who's now a high school student, played by someone else, of course, and then his family, and then Ted. And it's great. I mean, it definitely has like Family Guy vibes with some of the music and some of the. I mean, they're in Boston or the Boston area,
And all
so
the
they
pop
have
culture
the
references.
accent. No, they don't really do too much pop culture. It's more just like kind of interjecting commentary with the dialogue that's going on.
That's good.
Where like there's this one scene in the first episode where they're talking about diversity at the school and the kid's like, "Yeah, we had an Asian kid, but they got him." And then Ted's like, "Got him?" And then the kid just keeps going on like, "Yeah, he was really nice." "What do you mean they got him?" "Yeah, he would always like give me a piece of his lunch." Like, they did take him? So it's just like stuff like that. But
That's
it's
funny.
pretty
Huh.
funny.
That's
I never
funny.
did
Like,
watch the Ted movies. There's what, 2 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I saw the first one, which I thought was great. The second one I didn't see. But yeah, I definitely would recommend watching the Ted series on Peacock. It's pretty. It's for being a show on NBC. Like, oh, and they swear too, which is another weird thing too.
Yeah.
Like, even though it is on Peacock, there it's like
It's streaming.
uncensored.
Yeah, it's streaming, so it's not on TV.
So that's. I was kind of shocked by that. It's like, oh wow, they're swearing. Like, but there's no nudity or anything like that. It's just like
Not
swearing.
yet.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
not
Gonna
yet.
get some little
I
teddy
mean,
bear
Ted's
dick
naked,
going on.
technically. He's not. Yeah,
God.
he's not wearing clothes. So.
If you like that, you might like the Orville. I really enjoyed that.
Oh
And
yeah, I
so-
was thinking about that too.
I was surprised. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would going in. You know. so-
Doesn't it start off kind of funny and then it starts taking itself a bit more serious?
Yeah, it does start off a lot more like comedy, and then it does become like quite good
Star Trek.
sci-fi Star Trek. Yeah, it gave me, it gave me some good like Star Trek feels as well. The best of Star Trek, not like the worst. So
Cool.
but watch a couple of episodes. I mean, I thought it was hilarious.
So I'm gonna do also a show on Netflix. Dinner Time Live with David Chang. So these are 6 episodes that actually went out live on Netflix. They streamed live on Netflix, but I did not watch them live. But I watched them recorded. It's the show I started my comic book task with because I need something to kind of binge watch, just kind of while I'm doing this other task. But it's pretty funny. So it's like a cooking show live. So, but no commercial breaks. So anytime he makes a mistake, it's like actually making a mistake. Because like most cooking shows, the food's prepped. They cook something, they make a mistake, they just erase it and come back and do it over again. So anytime he makes a mistake, the cool thing about this is then he has 2 guests, like 2 comedians. So they sit there and they eat his food while and they're all bullshitting with each other. Anyway, the funniest episode is the one with Seth Rogen, and I forget who the other guy is with him, but they spend the entire budget on like this $25,000 can of fucking caviar, and then they put it on shit like fucking Pizza Hut pizza, and it's a fucking hilarious episode. But all the episodes are pretty funny. It's kind of it's only 6 episodes. If you like cooking shows, it's kind of a cool, kind of funny one. I hope they let him make more. Anyway. They also cuss on that show. Anyway. But they're not supposed to. So they were going for like a PG-13, like no, they're allowed like one fuck and nothing else. But then you get certain comedians on there and just like dropping F-bombs left and right, and they're like, stop swearing, and they're all like during the show. It's pretty funny. So
so they actually, the producers say stop swearing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great show. It's kind of fun, and I enjoyed it. So that's Dinner Time Live with David Chang. So like if you watch it live, you can actually get in the Discord and ask questions while the show's going on. So like I might try to like watch it live next time, and I don't know, but super cool. Enjoyed that. I used to watch a lot of cooking shows, and I hadn't, and I like this one was kind of like, oh well, I'm gonna do this thing. I have to binge watch something. So, and you know what? That's funny, Dave, because you brought up Sunderland Till I Die. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do that one. Anyway, so like I watched a lot of sports documentary stuff or cooking stuff while I'm doing this comic book thing. So maybe I'll watch that one next.
Yeah, it's a good one for that kind of thing as well.
All right. Let's get some trivia, Jared. Blow our minds. Stump us.
I don't know about blowing your minds,
Stump our minds.
but it's more of just a lucky guess kind of a question.
Oh, great.
But since the Switch launched 7 years ago, how many games do you think launched on the Switch on launch day? I have a few
7.
numbers: 6, 12, or 24.
6.
Those as an answer.
Well,
One of those
keep
answers-
in mind,
one of those
like,
answers is
in
correct.
the history of Nintendo consoles, they've had as little as 2 launch on launch day,
I don't know.
like the N64.
I'm gonna go with.
I'll
6.
go with 6.
I'm going with 24.
12 is the correct
it.
answer. Can you guys
Wow.
guess any of them?
All mobile games.
Basketball.
All Wii U games.
Candy Crush.
Well, there was
Bird.
one Wii U game.
Oh,
Which one was it?
Mario Kart.
Breath of the
What was
Wild?
Zelda, was it?
Mario
Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
Yeah.
Breath of the
Ian
Wild launched?
Wow.
has a copy. That was a launch date title. Launched the same day on the Wii U and the Switch.
Hmm.
So that was fun. There was 1-2 Switch, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And believe it or not,
1-2
Skylanders
Switch.
still existed 7 years ago.
Oh, ARMS. Wasn't ARMS one of them?
Wow.
No, that was later.
Oh, that was
Just
later?
Dance,
Just
Super Bomberman
Dance.
R.
You guys missed, Jared, you missed the Just Dance off at
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah?
USF.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Ian
funny.
was hurting.
Yeah.
He's
The,
like,
the
"Is this
only
dance
other
over
two
yet?"
I've heard of were Snipper Clips and Shovel Knight Treasure Trove.
Snipper Clips.
A World of Goo came out on Switch, and I Am
World of
Setsuna.
Goo.
Yeah,
Changed
so
the
like
name.
super
This is a
random launch
real-
titles.
Yeah.
It was
real
kind of a
lineup
garbage
games
lineup, other
to
than
make me
Zelda.
want
They
to
were
buy
like
a
banking on
console.
Zelda. Is about it. That's funny.
Man.
They're still banking on Zelda.
Yeah, I've played 4 of those games. I've
Bit Mario in there as
finished Breath of the Wild, Super Bomberman R. I played Snipper Clips because I have that, and I finished most of Shovel Knight Treasure Trove.
Any of you guys listen or watch our new Twin Peaks podcast?
Not yet.
So I will.
Not
You don't
yet.
have. You guys don't have to watch it or listen to it, but I will throw out this because it was game related. I did not know this, but the first episode of Twin Peaks, it influenced Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Huh.
What?
Yes,
Interesting.
inspired the make. So like, I was reading about that show. I bring it up in the podcast. But yeah, it was an
The
inspiration.
Game Boy Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zelda. Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
Twin Peaks, I guess.
So the
it's
whole thing's a
so-
dream.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I think that has something to do with it.
Okay. I dig it. Yeah.
Or just weird shit. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Good show, gents.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's see. I gotta pull up my notes because I'm slow. I want to thank you all for listening and remind you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshows@gmail.com or find us on our socials at couchcoopshows. All one word, no hyphen. I want to thank Jared, who went to go take a piss, Dave, John,
You're still here?
and myself for joining myself here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
Old Stallion.
Couch Co-op is full of douchebags.